Thank you for joining us today. My name is Shelby Knight, and I'm the Executive Director of the Center for Exceptional Families. TCEF is a fairly new organization incorporated in 2014 to provide advocacy services to children and adults with disabilities. TCEF was awarded the Parent Center grant in 2015 and has been the state's federally funded Parent Center since that time. I'd like to speak just a few minutes on what Parent Centers are and what they can provide for the state's population of families with disabilities. Let me stop my screen share. Parent Centers are funded by the Federal Office of Special Education Programs, which is called OSEP, through an aggressive grant competition. Parent Centers' main function is to provide training and assistance to the families of the 1.6 million children with disabilities in the United States. Parent Centers serve families of children of all ages, birth to 26, and all disabilities. Parent Centers help families and schools to understand IDEA and how to use it to benefit children with disabilities. Parent Centers also provide a variety of services, including one-to-one support and assistance to families, workshops for families and professionals, publications such as our newsletters, and each Parent Center has an engaging website. Parent Centers work collaboratively to improve outcomes for children with disabilities. The majority of Parent Center staff and their boards are parents of children with disabilities. Parent Centers serve the families through 1.4 million contacts with parents and professionals through trainings, presentations, phone calls and letters, home visits, and emails. 1.2 million parents and professionals received individual assistance from Parent Centers within the last school year. 4.7 million have been reached through print and electronic newsletters across the United States from publications from their Parent Center. Parent Centers help families understand their child's disability and the educational needs of their child. We educate families regarding their rights and responsibilities under IDEA. We teach them to communicate more effectively with schools and related professionals, and we help them obtain appropriate services for their children. We also connect families to community resources. We encourage parental involvement in the special education process, and then we assist in resolving problems between the schools and the families. We train parents to advocate for their children and to provide training for educational professionals on specific disability topics. And all of this works together to promote high expectations and endless possibilities for our children with disabilities. National data from the past school year records that 356,000 parents attended trainings across the United States on subjects of disability. National data also shows that 392,000 parents received individual assistance from their Parent Center. Also, 359,000 professionals attended a training hosted by their Parent Center. TCEF has a board of directors that governs our activities. That board provides statewide representation from all of the regions that we cover across the state. We would like to have more participation on our board. We would like to see, we are always actively searching for new membership. A board application is on our TCEF website. You can access that if you're interested in becoming a board member. Our board selects our mission statement and vision statement and monitors that closely so that we are always moving toward reaching the goals of our Parent Center. Our mission is to improve the educational outcome opportunities for students with disabilities, including students transitioning to adult life beyond high school. Our vision is to work in collaboration with families and their districts to promote an innovative approach to special education services. This is a map of the coverage areas and the specific regions of all of the TCEF staff. TCF currently has 7 staff members in 2 locations. One office location is in Jonesboro and one is in Whitehall. Most parent mentors work from their homes within their prospective regions of the state. TCEF serves all 75 counties in Arkansas, with mentors covering 8 to 15 counties each. This provides TCEF a way to connect on a more localized level to families and their communities, getting to know families and the districts that provide services to them, which ultimately creates a more cohesive team approach of service delivery for children with disabilities. The Northeast region is currently covered by myself, Shelby Knight, the Executive Director, and consists of 8 counties. I've been employed in the advocacy field for more than 20 years. I have an adult son with autism, and I use those life experiences with my son to further the mission of TCEF. I work 40 hours each week from my office in Jonesboro, providing advocacy services to the parents and school districts in my region. I'm a board member of the IDEA Council of the Arkansas Department of Education, and I serve as board chair of a private residential facility here in Jonesboro. Lakeisha Whitman, featured here, is our associate director and works in the Whitehall office. Lakeisha has 11 counties in her region and works 20 hours each week for the Parent Center. Lakeisha has 10 years experience in the disability field, working as an advocate for children and adults with disabilities. Lakeisha is the lead on the TCEF Life program, which is a 6-week workshop series created specifically for students transitioning to adult life from public school. Next slide is Lorena Hagenbart and Tracy Risley. Lorena is the TCEF parent mentor serving 10 counties in northern Arkansas. Lorena works 20 hours each week for the Parent Center. She holds an Associate of Science degree and a Bachelor's of Science degree. Lorena has a son with global delays, and she has extensive knowledge and firsthand experience working with a wide spectrum of physical and mental disabilities. Lorena is a board member of the Arkansas Empowering Families with Deafblindness and a committee member of Project Sparkle, which is a workshop project of Casey. As well as she's also on the Finance and Governance Board for Region 6 and Region 8 CASP meetings. Lorena also serves as the TCEF point person in our service to military families that currently live in Arkansas. Tracy Risley is the TCEF parent mentor who serves 12 counties in the Northwest River Valley area of the state. She lives in Fort Smith and devotes 20 hours each week to her Parent Center work. Tracy holds a bachelor's degree in special education and an additional certification in early childhood special education from University of Central Arkansas. Tracy has her master's in special ed and specializes in serving individuals on the autism spectrum. Tracy has 21 years teaching experience in the public school system. She has extensive knowledge working with children with a wide range of disabilities and their families, but definitely has a passion for individuals on the autism spectrum. Tracy is the curriculum coordinator for TCEF, and her job is to create all TCEF presentations and materials. Tracy is also the TCEF lead on the State Personnel Development Grant with our partnership with the Division of Elementary and Secondary Education. Next slide is the rest of our staff. Katie Cravens. Katie is a parent mentor who serves 8 counties in the Arkansas Delta. Katie is a parent to a child with autism and devotes 20 hours each week to her Parent Center work. Katie has a bachelor's from University of Arkansas. She has lived and worked in the Delta for more than a decade. Most recently, she has served as the Delta Region Liaison for the Arkansas Autism Resource and Outreach Center. Katie is also a committee member of the Autism Delta Project and has been heavily involved with outreach efforts and parent support groups in that region of the state. Rhonda Moore is parent mentor for the 8 counties that comprise the Central Arkansas region around Pulaski County. Rhonda is a graduate of the University of Arkansas in Little Rock with a bachelor's degree. She has received her master's in developmental therapy from Henderson State. Rhonda is an adjunct instructor at Henderson State University for students enrolled in practicum to receive developmental therapist certification. Rhonda has worked as a developmental therapist for more than 10 years, serving children through the Early Intervention Program. She works hard to empower families with knowledge to progress the skills of their children. Rhonda is the TCF Part C liaison for the First Connections collaborative work that the Parent Center is doing. Karen Luttrick is the TCF Parent Mentor, working 20 hours a week in the 14 counties in the southwest area of the state. Karen is a graduate of the University of Arkansas at Little Rock with a degree in psychology. Karen has advocated for children and adults with disabilities for more than 20 years as an educational advocate and resource provider. Karen really enjoys sharing information and empowering individuals to achieve equality. She's parent to 3 adult children. The youngest is an individual with a disability. Karen is also the TCF lead on a multi-state vocational rehab grant work. In the 5 years that TCF has been in existence and providing Parent Center services, we have reached almost 24,000 families. We have held or attended almost 3,000 IEP meetings, 504 meetings, mediations, facilitated IEP meetings, and we have conducted more than 600, almost 630 workshops across the state. We have received almost 15,000 phone calls from families and professionals in this time frame. Some of the workshops that TCF provides are listed here on this slide. This is a constantly growing, ever-changing list. As a Parent Center, it is our role to make sure that the information we provide is current, is topical, and is up to date. During the threat of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've had to change some of our presentations, update a few, and then create some new ones altogether to serve the population who are receiving their information online only. So this list is fluid and it is constantly changing. If you have suggestions for us as an audience member on something you would like to see us produce, then certainly email us and let us know that, and we're always able and willing to create something new based on the need. These are the grant goals that we have in place for TCF for this reporting period. And these are very important. Now, there are absolute priorities that are given to us by OSEP. We take those absolute priorities and we flesh them out into individual goals that our Parent Center can accomplish. So our grant goals for the next 5 years will be to increase capacity of families in areas of early learning and school-age educational outcomes through specifically individual support and information distribution. Now that's accomplished through one-to-one mentoring with families, and one-to-one is going to look very different during this pandemic time, and the dissemination of TCF and other resource materials in digital and printed parent packets. Our second goal is to increase capacity of youth in transition to become effective self-advocates and to educate students in transition on their rights and responsibilities as self-advocates. Now, this goal is accomplished through the presentation of the 6-week live workshop series, and that occurs in the Whitehall office in the southeast portion of the state and is available to all school districts across the state. Our parent mentors can come into the school campuses and present this program to school populations, students who wouldn't normally get to participate in a typical transition classroom in a public school district. Those students who may have more severe disabilities, who aren't going to graduate to tech schools, who are going to graduate schools to home and community-based waiver and day programs, can participate in the Life Workshop series. Another goal of the Center for Exceptional Families is to increase capacity of families and the professional communities that provide services to them in areas of early learning and school-aged outcomes through statewide training opportunities. Now, we accomplish this through in-person and virtual learning opportunities to families and professionals to increase their knowledge of current topics relevant to the education needs of individuals with disabilities. So statewide training opportunities for families. And we do have a quota that each one of our staff members are required to meet each year as far as workshops are concerned, the number of workshops that they need to hold per year. Our fourth goal is to increase knowledge of available programs and services by conducting outreach programs that specifically target underserved groups. Our underserved groups in the states include families in foster care, families who have a child in the juvenile justice system, our military families in transition, families living in extreme poverty or experiencing food insecurity, and families who are experiencing homelessness. Additionally, we work hard to assure that families of, parents who are identified as having a disability themselves have the resources they need to accomplish educational or better educational outcomes for their children. Our community outreach is, I'm really proud of what we can do for our communities, our families of children with disabilities through our community outreach. The Sensory Saturday is a wonderful movie event that we hold across the state for families. And this movie experience gives families a chance to be a typical family, to come into the theater, see a first-run movie, have their popcorn and their drinks for their children, and enjoy a first-run movie with their kids without worrying about the atmosphere around them, without having to keep their child quiet or in their seat. Sensory Saturday allows our children to move around in that theater, to walk, to pace, to stand, to talk out loud, and still participate in the movie experience. Our tagline for our movie experience is "Wiggle Worms Welcome," and we fully embrace that. It's very important that our families know that they can have this experience, they can have this experience with their children with disabilities, and if they feel like they can't be fully successful for the entire film, then certainly we have families who come in and stay for 10 or 15 minutes for each movie, and then they kind of build up until their child can sit through a whole movie experience. So it's a learning experience, it's a teaching opportunity, and it's been wonderful for families who want a movie experience with their kiddos, who want to have a social outing that typical families have that's not really readily available to them. Now with Sensory Saturday, and we show those movies in Jonesboro, Batesville, Monticello, and Russellville, when we show those movies, we raise the lights in the theater just a little bit, just enough so that the children can see their parents and not feel that they're in a darkened room. We lower the volume of the movie just a little bit so that it's not so Dolby sound surround loud in the theater. We don't show previews. The movie begins promptly at 9:30 on a Saturday morning, and we don't roll credits. And it's a wonderful experience. We have families who participate with us, and we've been doing this for, I believe it's 8 years now in Jonesboro. But these children are growing up with Sensory Saturday, and they've learned how to do it. And in the beginning, we had children coming in with headphones on who weren't really sure of the situation and what was going to happen to them. And now these kids are bouncing in the door and they're ready to see their movie. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Also within our community outreach is our TCFEF Ambassador Program. Now, because we have such a small staff and we are a statewide program with 75 counties to cover, we rely heavily on our TCFEF ambassadors to help us spread the word of our program across the cities in our state. Our TCFEF ambassadors are equipped with a TCFEF presentation, flyers, brochures, and posters on our program. We give them a badge to wear, and we help them set up workshop opportunities in their communities. Now, it may be that the workshop would consist of presenting a basic TCFEF presentation like what I'm doing with you today. It could be something like that to a parent-teacher association, for instance. It could be a presentation to a Civitan group or to the local Lions Club, and just something that helps us get the word out to the communities that we live in and that we work through. It's very important that we have that connection with the TCFEF ambassador because, like I said, the smallest coverage area of one of our parent mentors is 8 counties. So if schools all begin on the same day, and they have a parent night that usually occurs on the second or third Tuesday after school begins. We can't be everywhere. So having TCFEF ambassadors in each one of our counties is very effective for us, because if we have those ambassadors, we can sort of be everywhere. Ambassadors can set up a table, an exhibit table at a parent night or an open house at the school district, and put our information out there on the table. We provide all of that information to them. And that helps us get our word out there in the different communities. That's very important to us, because we cannot, the staff as small as we are, with limited dollars to spend for advocation, we have a difficult time doing that, and we really depend on our TCFEF ambassadors to help us get that done. Our contact information is, this is our toll-free number listed here, and that is answered by me, because we don't have funds to hire a secretary. So I'm the executive director and I'm everyone's secretary. I will answer that telephone when you call us, and then I can direct you from there to to the parent mentor that covers your region. Now I'd like to take a moment to look at our website. Let me get that up. I apologize, I should have had that up already. I want to take just a moment and show you what's available to you on our website. This is our home screen where our vision, mission, statements are, and there's a listing on our TCFEF Ambassador Program. The Ambassador application is on the front page of our website. You can access that there, and you can just fill that out and send that back to me, and we will get you approved quickly. I run those through our board of directors. The Find Us tab lists specifically the regions of the state, what counties are covered within each region, and which office or phone number you can call. There's email addresses for each one of our staff members, how to reach your individual partner within your region. Our board members are listed under our staff tab. There's a complete list of them there with their photos and a bio on each one of them. The board membership application, if you would like to join our board, is the very first subject on the board member section, board application right there. Our partner page, I'm really proud of our partner page. I think it's very important that we partner with all of the agencies who are like-minded agencies who are working with families of children with disabilities. So I'm really proud to see this page grow. It's very important to us that we're able to connect to other agencies that are doing the same kind of work we are. We're all working together to serve families. So I'm very proud of this enormous list of state resources. Our national resources list is continuing to grow. Our military resources there, that's the national page, is the National Parent Center. And then at the lower portion is home and community-based waiver programs. This is a link to all of the waiver programs that are available in the state of Arkansas currently. And that's very important for families to have as well. Our resources tab lists specifically the webinars that we have created, and we have some really good webinars out there right now, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. I feel like we have gone above and beyond to provide information to families. It's very topical, very current. Some of our webinars, especially the ones that we did in the month of April, managing stress and daily routines to manage your stress. These were well received, very well attended by national level speakers, and they are fabulous. So if you have a moment, and each presentation is only 15 minutes long with handouts, and you can access those. It'll guide you through. You'll have to register for each one of them, even though they've already been held. You can still view them if you register for them, and they have been wonderful. And we will continue to add, as each one of our webinars through the summer is produced, we will continue to add them to our website. Presentations on this resources tab includes every presentation that we currently have with audio on our website. And then we have a list of presentations that are read-only. And as I said earlier, this presentation list grows constantly. It changes constantly. because we want to be sure that we are providing the latest information that we have for families. Our programs is listed under this tab. Like I said in my presentation earlier, we do have the SPDIG grant, which is a part of the Arkansas Department of Education. We have an Ag for Autism grant, which is localized to Northeast Arkansas only. And then the Parent Center is listed there in Sensory Saturday. Our newsletters are listed here. We have a completely mirrored website for our Hispanic communities is listed here under this tab. And then coming soon, when our new grant year begins in the fall, we're going to be adding youth resources to our website. We're working on that now. A youth tab, something specific to COVID-19 resources. And then we also want to provide a data tab, because I think it's very important that we share with our population across the state what our data looks like, not just those hard numbers that I shared with you earlier, but specifically our data for each quarter of our grant. We want to be a very transparent organization to you. We want to be accessible to all. We want our information. Everything that we do is funded through federal dollars, and those federal dollars make us a transparent organization. So we want to be sure that we're providing that level of transparency. The milestones that we reach as a parent center, we want to list those here as well. Okay, we're going to X out of that. Okay, all right. Well, that concludes our presentation for today, and I thank you very much for taking part in it with us. And I thank you, Rodney Farley, for letting us do this for your family bistro. We love the bistro, and we love what you do with that, and we're so excited to be a part of that with you, and thank you for the invitation to join you. If you have any questions, you can put those in the chat box now, and we'll answer them as quickly as we can. And thank you again for participating with us today. We appreciate you very much. And if we can do anything for you as your parent center, please reach out to us.